What's up, everybody? How you doing? I'm making this video somewhat in response to a comment I got this morning from Manufactured Reality, and he referred me to a web page that spoke about being normal, and the question was, what is normal? And so he wanted me to speak on it, so I'm going to. And it's a very interesting topic because it's one that I don't even consider anymore, because I've become, the norm for me has become whatever I do, if that makes sense. What? I mean, when I was younger, my friends and I have sat around and talked about this in the past when we were younger, and I remember a specific time. I don't remember when it was, but we were sitting around saying, you know, what is normal? And I think one of my buddies said something to the effect of, normal is what you're used to. And that was I think that was the exact statement. Normal is what you're used to. And I thought about that, and I thought, you know, that's true. Normal is what you're used to. The article that you sent me the link to, you know, I read that, and it was coming from the perspective of somebody who had tried to be normal for so long and never felt quite normal. And I guess for me, I've never felt normal anyway. I've always felt different. And when I was younger, I mistook that for pride and ego, in the sense that I thought I was somehow better because I felt different, but I was smarter than some of my peers, and I seemed to meet a lot of people who really didn't have any interest in life itself, so I made the assumption that I was, you know, somehow better than what normal is, which is ridiculous now looking back on it, but the question still remains, is what is normal? So I've come to the conclusion, of course, that there are two different definitions of normal. One definition is, what is the general consensus of those around you? Or rather, what is, because you can't use the word norm, what's the norm? But you can, I guess. What is the norm of the environment around you? So, normal here is obviously normal in a different place. Let's say, you know, in the Middle East, where they have different customs. You know, normal is what the general consensus of your peers seems to be. Now, the other definition of normal is living within the parameters of nature, or living within natural law. This is the normal that I tend to adhere to, as opposed to the norm of society. And this one leaves a lot more open for interpretation, in the sense of, you know, what does nature want from us, and what do we do while we're here? These kinds of things. So the norm would be to live in a way that reflects nature. The question is, when that interferes with the norms of society, what do we do? And this has always been my problem. Not a problem, but rather this has been my issue, is that people expect a certain thing from others, and for me, I have never adhered to the norms. Ever since I was in school, I've always wanted to be the different guy, and and that's why this, you know, I was glad that he sent me this link and, you know, asked me to talk about this, because it's something I've never considered. It's something I've considered many times, but it's something, in other words, what normal is to me is just being normal. Like, this is my normal state, to be different. But you realize when you're different, you're not that much different. Or at least not as much as you think you are. You find other people that are normal too. Then you start thinking that the people that are like you are normal and everybody else is wrong. And that's not a good way to be either. So I have to realize that while I'm normal within the confines of what I consider normal, I'm not even normal within my own peer groups. You know, I'm a different type person. I'm not interested in the same things as other people around me. I'm not interested in television shows. I'm not interested in sports. Like my brother, for example, he's he started watching football a while back, and he really likes it. And he says, "You got to get into it." I just said, "I can't. I'm not interested in football. It does not interest me at all." I said, "I've watched the games. I've tried to get into it. I can't. I can't get into the players, and I don't care. For me, sports are fodder for shallow minds. And I don't mean that people that watch sports are shallow. I mean, that's what it's designed to be now. Because professional sports are a joke. It's, it's all about the money. It's all about trying to support your team. And people are like, well, you live in Washington. Normal in my environment here would be, go Huskies, Sorry, Seahawks. See? That's what I'm talking about. I don't even watch football at all. I'm like Huskies, whatever. Seahawks. Ocean chickens. So I'm the weird one because I don't watch sports. Because Super Bowl Sunday, I'm going to be hanging out with my wife and traveling, doing fun things. Norm for society is walking into the entertainment center at the store right now and seeing a stack of Pabst Blue Ribbon in the electronics section next to the TVs and recliners. I refuse to be that kind of normal. That's normal. That's what people expect from people from Super Bowl Sunday. But that's just one thing among many. I'm an individual, and I don't try to adhere to the norms. It's not in my interest. So I guess in other words, in a sense, I've always been a rebel. I got a rebel tattooed on my leg. I remember when I did that. I showed it the other day in a video. I was like, I know. Oh, I'm so much of a rebel, I've got to tell everybody about it, But when I was young, that's how I was, I wore the craziest clothes in school. I remember this shirt. It was the Persian Gulf Yacht Club. It was just this cheesy shirt with like a skull and these ships and these like mines in the water. And I'd wear it with my MC Hammer pants, which I had a few different pairs of these big, baggy, bright, neon 80s pants, which would taper down to a rolled up cuff, and like my, cheesy shoes. Even though it was the norm for the 80s, I was always trying to step outside of the normal box. And I think, and this is kind of where I wanted to bring this full circle to conclude, is that I think society forced me to want to be different. Not society in the sense of poor me, but rather because people didn't accept differences, because I saw the way that people treated each other when they were different, I realized that I should be proud to be different. I should be proud to be original. It wasn't until I got into my 30s when I started to understand natural law and begin to follow a system which allowed me to realize what normal really was to me. And I'm still trying to figure that out. So in conclusion, I really don't know what normal for humans is, or what we're supposed to be doing. I know there's a lot of people that say that they know, and there's a lot of people that believe, you take the opposite, the extremes, one extreme says that we're here, it's a material life, take what you can get and get out. The next one says it's a spiritual life, and it's all about the afterlife or the next life, and this is a test. And then there's a million different thought patterns in between. But there are also those who believe that we need to, that we're here to dominate our planet, and others who believe that we're here to be humble and let our planet direct us. And then in the middle I am, where I'm like, hey, we have these things that we can use to take advantage of. We have resources, we have energy, we're going to use it. We're humans, we have consciousness. So is that normal for humans to abuse their planet then? Would that be normal for any creature to abuse the privileges given to them once they're able to actually create machines to extract these chemicals and do these processes? Is that normal? Looking at nature, you see animals don't seem to have that much impact on their environment. They seem to be pretty, they do their little thing. The truth is they have a major impact on their environment. All the insects below ground, they do so much, what you might call changing. You might call it part of the cycle. The question is, where do we fit into this cycle? And is anything normal? So I'll leave it at that. And, I pride myself on being different. I don't know what normal is, and I don't know if anybody does. But if normal means going along the path we have been as a society, I'd say that I'd prefer to be the weirdo. Anyway, take care, everybody, and have a great day, night, morning, evening. Take care.